Oh, welcome. Tonight, first episode, Amsterdam Talk, season 3. This is crazy. We've been on air for 3 years now. 3 seasons that went by. This is season 3, and I'm taking a different approach this time. Normally, what we start off about love, the season start like that, but no, this one we're starting off with high value fuckery. And I have Miss T. Sherran Young with me tonight. Uh, what is it?
Transparency, yes.
Transparent T. YouTube channel, Transparent T. Facebook page. Before we get started, though, before we get into high value fuckery, let's tell us about yourself.
Hey y'all, hey, I am Sherran Young. I just started a podcast called Transparency. It's a play on words because, T, of course, is, my first initial, and transparent because I feel like the best way to help people is to be transparent. So I like that. That's what I did. I am a mental health specialist. I work with adults and kids all day. I've been doing that for almost a year. I am a published author, but I haven't written anything in 6 years. So I really don't like throwing it out. I don't like throwing it out, but it is something that I am credited to. I am born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana, 39 years old, mother of 4, grandmother of 2, all around cool chick. I'm trying to be the auntie vibe because I'm older now, but at first I wanted to be like the big sister. So like now I'm auntie. So that's about it. I really can't make myself sound interesting, and as hard as I try, I really just don't know what else to say.
Okay, but before we get to high value fuckery, because you said something that triggered. Like, I want to know, what would you tell? Because you said you're a grandmother too, and you have 4. So I'm figuring 2 of your children are like in their 20s.
One,
One in their 20s. Now, this is
yes.
my question to you. What would you tell a young mother, because you was a young mother? What would you tell a woman that's having a child young?
Um, I would tell you, I would try to scare the hell out of them, first of all, because it's something that I lived and not something that I read about. I got pregnant at 13, my very first time having sex. It wasn't like I was out there trying to be fast. First time, boom, had a baby. Nobody told me about that. Nobody educated about that. I think the most important part, and I can speak on myself because I dropped the ball as well with my own daughter. I didn't want to have that I didn't want to have that conversation because I felt like it'll put it in my face that she was doing that. So I would talk to the parents first. It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow, but you absolutely have to talk to the kids because it's hard to believe that we became parents or we started having sex in our teenage years that we won't think that our kids are doing it. So we have to talk to our kids. We have to communicate. I dropped the ball with my first one, but with my last 3, I'm talking to them. I'm telling them, leave them babies where they at. Go focus on yourself. Go to school, get a job, live your life, get some experience under your belt, then circle back when you think you're ready to have a child. That's the most important thing I would tell.
Okay, see, that's what I try to tell these young folks. It don't. All it takes is one time. And
One time,
you said
one time,
it was your first time. Your
first
very
time.
so okay. So the response from your parents, what was their response?
I didn't know. My dad wasn't in my life at that age. He wasn't in my life, so I don't know what he said. But my mom, she the one told me that I was pregnant. I was sitting in the bed, and old country mama, she was just like, "Your neck is jumping. You pregnant?" I'm like, "Well, I ain't finna have no baby. Like, what I'm supposed to do? I'm 13.
Mhm.
We don't believe in abortion. We gonna raise this baby." She was mad, and I know I can think back now that I know I hurt her feelings. I know I hurt her feelings. She was mad, but she really stepped up and took on the responsibility. Like I was telling one of my clients yesterday, I didn't get to experience the woes of teenage motherhood. She pushed me to go out there and still hang with my friends. She said, "You get one mistake, you get one accident," and she said, "The next time you know what you're doing."
Right.
Then she also told me, and I fully believe, she said, "You get pregnant again, I'm gonna kill you." So at that time, if I'm 13 years old, I'm like, okay, yeah, she might be for real. And I was scared of boys. Like your first time having sex and you get pregnant, I was scared. Like, why are you touching me? Why are you looking at me? But that
Mhm.
was pretty much her response. Like, She didn't say she was gonna kick me out. She just said we gonna love the baby, and I got to experience her for 5 years after that because she passed away. And now I was on my own because I didn't know how to raise a baby. Like she did everything. Now I got to learn how to raise this kid from 5 going on up, and this is how I dropped the ball again because she got pregnant at 14 and made me a
Mm.
grandmother at 28.
Wow. Wow. So I see what you became successful now. Did you do the same thing that your mom did for you? You helped her through all of this?
No, I actually didn't. I helped her after the baby got here, and it was a part of me trying to take accountability and own up for my own. My heart was so broken. This was like the first time, well, like the second time I experienced heartbreak, because this was my biggest fear come true, believe it or not. I was sitting in the doctor's office and they told me I was having a girl, and I started crying.
Mm.
And my grandmother asked me, like, what are you crying for? Which it was all colorful because they was cussles. And she said, what you crying for? And I was like, well, I don't want her to make the same mistake I did. Now I'm saying this sitting in the doctor's office at 14 years old. I don't want my baby to do the same thing. Like I don't know what I'm gonna tell her to not do this, and then it turned right around and happened. So now I can say, and we have talked, and she's for to be 25 years old, so we have talked. I apologize, but I was mean to her. Like I said things that I didn't want to say. Of course, I wasn't gonna kick my baby out, but I was already a struggling parent. I was already 28. I had her and her 3 younger siblings in school, working overnight. I couldn't afford. I felt like I couldn't afford to take on another baby. So I didn't take her to I just dropped her off at her doctor's appointments. I wasn't there for her. And I was there when she gave birth and something changed. It's like God softened my heart. Cause the moment I saw my grandbaby there, we was like, we like Ace Boon Coons. Like now she texts me when I don't be at home at a certain time. She like, where you at? I can't
Mm.
imagine. I felt like she was supposed to be here. She was supposed to be here because this she taught me a lesson.
Right.
So that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, sounds like a great success story. Lessons, all lessons come in different shapes, sizes, and forms.
Yes.
It's about how you value the lessons and you make you a better person. So, like you said, you took accountable for your daughter and everything goes from there. But that is beautiful. But we want to get to this high value thing. And the whole high value thing, what I get is high value is an idea that stem from like mate value, like relating to being a high value mate. Does high value only come with like money and status like that, or can it be something else?
Um, I think on the outside looking in, if a person makes a lot of money, that will be considered high value. But if you're considering the substance, then that might take away from it because you could be an asshole with a lot of money.
Which is true. You
Yeah.
can.
this this I was telling somebody on Facebook, I said this is why broke men get ahead because they be very charismatic. Whereas I'll come in contact with men who seem to be successful and they are very mean and they look down on you, especially with me having kids. They look down on you. Oh, you ain't good enough for this, blah blah blah. When you find you a broke man, he and a broken girl, you want to experience that connection and they know how to make you laugh. They know how to get into that. So how value you might look on the outside is okay, yeah, he got money. I'm gonna get with that. But then you get to know that person, that takes away from their value.
Okay. Well, as far as that, like you said, a lot of broke guys, or not. I'm not gonna say broke, but just don't have as much money as him. I mean, they normally know how to do things without using money. And I feel like, when you have that type of money, your charisma, your personality takes a hit. Not everybody, but a lot of them take a hit because you figure I can just shove this money in her face and make it, make everything feasible for them. But if you don't have any money, what else do you have to fall back on?
Right. Well, if you don't have the money, you have to have some type of redeeming qualities. You have to have you have to be like a good communicator. You have to be charismatic. Like I said, can you make me laugh? Or do you have potential? Do you have the
Right.
potential to go above and beyond? What are your goals? What are your dreams? Right now, at this age and that I'm almost 40, I'm not attracted to potential. I'm not attracted to that anymore because I feel like now since I'm working on getting myself established, I feel like the guy that I meet, he should meet me halfway there. I'm not saying I'm looking for him to be a 6 figure, 7 figure dude, but can our goals come in the middle and we can create something colossal at the same time, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense because to reference Coach Bobby Knight, potential gets you fired. And that's speaking of a basketball reference. Basically, he was saying, yeah, he has the potential, but I need a proven commodity, basically, somebody who's working towards something, not saying, oh, you have the potential. Um, Potential will get you fired. Like that's just basically what we said. But so you have high value men, you have high value women. And doing my research for the show right here, it was basically saying one of the traits of a high value woman is that she seeks understanding of men rather than defaulting to judgment. So she's seeking to understand him rather than basically just pointing judgment at him. Would you say that's true?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if that would be considered high value. That's the first time that I've heard it, but it makes sense. It goes back to a woman trying to give a man the benefit of the doubt and seeing the potential. Because
Okay.
some women, I know it's some women out there that are looking for the coin, but in my case, I'm not looking for that because I don't like for a man to do anything for me because I feel like I was doing it on my own before I met you. So it'll be hard for me to ask. So when I'm looking at that, at least have a job. But like I said, now at this big old age, you have to be in like some type of management or have a trade or working towards a career because I'm working to be better. I'm working to be a better person. And so I feel like if I'm if I'm at a certain point, I need you to meet me halfway at the same time. So I am working. I do want to me. I'm just talking about me because I don't want to feel like I'm judging people or passing
Mhm.
judgment. I want to. I am looking for a connection. Can you make me laugh? What type of things do you say on social media? How's your conversation? Are you a good communicator? Are you a good father? Do you believe in God or some type of entity? Do you believe in something? You ain't got to be church going. You ain't got to be a pastor. I'm looking for substance for me. That's what I'm looking for. And that in my mind, that determines whether you're high value enough for me to get my attention.
Okay. So that there's if there's no substance, then there's
No
nothing,
substance.
correct?
That's nothing. You can it's all in how you approach me. I'm looking for substance first.
Okay. So you find the substance and you find substance in them. Is it any way of like you deciding to say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore? I mean, you found the substance, but some other things might not have been right. But is there anything that you could find to be like, nah, I can't do this no more?
Um, if he's disrespectful, if we get to talking, he's disrespectful. He doesn't have any a Debbie Downer type man, a woe is
Mhm.
me type man. Like like always complaining, don't see the good in nothing. I would ghost you. I'm a serial ghoster. I need to work on that. I'm too old to not give them I don't like hurt people feelings, so I'll just ghost them.
Well, if you want to know about ghosting, you need to go watch season one. We talked about that in season one. But
I just don't like hurt people feelings. And I have been I'm gonna tell you why I'm a ghost. I have a story. Years ago, I tried to break up with a guy, and he hit me. He kicked my ass because I tried to break up with him.
he fought
I got
you?
a scar. He hit me, split my eye. I have a scar under my eyebrow now because I had to grow my eyebrows out. So from then on, I said I'm never breaking up with another dude. I let it be their idea that they're breaking up with me. Ever since then, I'm not breaking up with nobody else. I would never tell a guy I'm not interested. I'm ghosting. If I'm not around you, I'm gonna ghost you, or I'm gonna do something that's gonna piss you off to make you think you breaking up with me. I can't. It only take one time. I ain't even get hit as a child. I've never been like in an abusive relationship. I got hit one time, and I learned my lesson and moved the hell on. So
So
I don't want people seeing this and saying, okay, oh, she's a serial ghost or she's immature. No,
you got
I'm
trauma towards what happened.
it's trauma. Yeah, because it wasn't like he slapped me, like he closed fist hit me. He hit me in the eye, split my eye, and I went and I filed a police report. And you know what the police told me? The detective said in my face and said, "We don't take domestic violence seriously because y'all always go back." And I looked at him and I said, "Oh, I ain't never going back." Changed my number. I changed jobs, changed cars, and I never talked to that dude again. And what's interesting is this same man found me on a dating site. He found me on POF years ago, and he was like, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" And I said, "Yeah." Can I cuss? Because I cussed him out, and I
You
said,
cuss,
"Yeah."
you cuss.
I said, "Yeah, motherfucker, you know me." And he was like, "Oh, I thought you looked familiar. You are so beautiful now. Like I was ugly back then." And
So
he tried to talk to me before, but I like I said, I'm a ghost. So I recognized him and I ignored his messages. And after he realized who I was, he was like, "I just really want to apologize for how I hurt you." Okay, and let me block you because I'm not going down that road again. So it's a whole story. Like I'm a storyteller. I'm a storyteller by heart. So I really got to put y'all in there when I tell something.
I get it. Just like, it seems like why is it for the 3 seasons we've been on, every other show there's a POF reference on it.
Well, I've learned my lesson with online dating. So as far as online dating, Facebook is gonna be as far as it go. Like I'm not even on Facebook dating. So if you inbox me on Facebook and we get talking and I feel like I want to give you my number, then that's cool. But other than that, I'm not doing any more dating sites.
I swear, every other episode, it's a POF story. Like, wow, what the hell? But yeah, I get where you coming from with the ghosting because there's trauma behind it. So I understand, like, you don't want to have that happen again. And, and I'm meeting you for the first time today, talking to you, and I do watch Fatal Attraction. So I don't like, you know, I see this shit happen all the time on TV One, like every Monday at 9. So it's like this shit really goes on. So I'm like, I mean, as a black woman yourself, you have to protect yourself at all times, So that's just, like Malcolm X said, about, the most disrespected person in the world is the black woman. So that's crazy. You can't take a breakup, so you hit the woman. That's wild.
Right.
So back to like you say, so you said about the high value men, how the fact is, they what was the word you used? They're bitter, they're angry towards a person, when they're mean. Is that like
Not all of them. Not all of them. Some of
okay?
them.
So I was gonna say the ones that are, is that like some mental health thing or whatever? Like
I feel like it is. I feel like okay, lately I have been on Facebook and it's this whole debate going around. Men talk about body count. Men talk about women with more than one baby daddy. Or and I've seen it triggers me somewhat because you don't know my story, you don't know these women's stories, you don't know. It's not like we wake up and say, okay, hey, today is the day I'm gonna be a single mama. Today is the day I'm gonna go out and find my next baby daddy. Not all of them. And men, I feel like men have a woman issue because I watch a lot of true crime. If they don't like
mm,
their mom or some woman that hurt them, they take that along with them, and they it's not deflect, but they project that anger because they can't really get to the one that made them angry, so they gonna project it onto other women. I've seen it on Facebook where men talk about stuff like that, and it be very professional men, very professional men. They've been hurt, they've been cheated, their mama treated them like crap, and they taking all that anger out on who they meet. And so I look at all of that when they make their posts on social media. I look at that. These are so-called high value men. They looking at women like, okay, like recently where I stay, it's a guy. He has his own business. He's like almost 40, and he's telling men like, you got to get them before they turn 25. You got to get them right out of high school so you can teach them stuff. That's
that
his wife.
sounds that sounds fucking very predatory right there.
Right. And he had social media here in Shreveport in uproar, because everybody was saying that he started dating his wife when she was a senior in high school. Then you had a lot of men agreeing, like, you're almost 40, so men in their 40s have to get women that's 25, 18 to 25. He just kept doing numbers, and I felt like he said it's low key grooming. He said then they have a low body count. They don't have any baby daddies. They don't have any drama. So, and he called himself an alpha male and a high value man.
That
And
man sounds more like a
and
beta.
and the man and the multitudes of men that will agree, it was some women that agreed to that too. So I do feel like it's some type of trauma there, but they won't address their mama. They won't address the person that hurt them. So they're gonna project and try to hurt other people.
From what you just said, plotting on high school seniors, that just sounds very predatory right there to me, and they should be in jail if they ain't doing that. But at the end of the day, myself, I'm 40 right now. I could not see myself being with an 18 to 25-year-old. I mean, I know they say, women mature faster than men, but certain shit that I do now, you might not do. Like, I like to sit in the house, watch TV. I've been through that whole party scene. I don't need to be in the club every goddamn week. And I don't really have time to really try to groom you to be whatever. That's like, no, be who you are. If you have to announce that you're an alpha male, more than likely you're not an alpha male. Yeah, more like a beta. That's what I'm saying. But you like, what can an 18 to 25-year-old do? I mean, when I'm listening to you say that, not saying 18 to 25-year-olds are not successful, but that's not an anomaly. Like, this is common. But so you in your 40s and you have an 18 and 25-year-old, so you're established. You have a house. You have all of that. You're paying for everything. You're doing this. You're doing that. So basically, what I kind of get predatorial, like pimping, damn near almost. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I know he made a reference to her owning her own business, and he helped her build it. So grooming, he's grooming her to be successful in his right. I don't think
Grooming
she
to be
has her
successful for what?
in his eyes to make her have value in his eyes, in his opinion.
So what if she decide to leave? Then what?
I I feel like that's where the money situation come in there, because if a woman is used to a certain lifestyle, I feel like that's a way to keep her hostage.
Which is true, and we watch this every day with celebrities. They leave, they divorce, alimony comes, and I'm used to living this type of lifestyle, so I have to provide you with this type of lifestyle. But as you stated, if he's grooming her, but he's grooming her to be successful on her own, so she'll have the opportunity to leave. It's not like she's not being groomed to whatever he's trying to do, that she's just sitting there or whatever, and she can't leave because she's going to have money. But when she does decide to leave, now here comes the backlash. Now I got to throw all this shit in your face that I did for you. Like, so basically, he's probably gonna be like, bitch, half of that shit is mine, which makes it crazy. But
Right.
I can't I can't feast on nobody or prey on nobody that's damn near that's 22 years younger than me. That maybe when I'm 70. But right now at 40, no, I'm not doing that. 70 or 80, yeah. I mean, the sugar daddy vibes, you just want some company.
Yeah. Well,
Want
right.
to
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, that just sound crazy. But like you said, so a lot of these high value men, they will say they're emotionally, mentally, and consciously, mature about everything. But it hits back to the trigger, as you just stated, what went on before, prior to me. And I think when you're dating people don't ask the right questions, as far as like, what's your traumas and shit like that. Like, what, did your mama not give you enough titty? Was your daddy not around enough? Things of that nature. Some reason why you acting out and lashing out.
Yeah. But with that, in that regards, black people, I feel I'm gonna just say black people have just begun to be comfortable with talking about their trauma.
Because
You
it was
have
always told growing up,
yeah.
what's in this house, stay in this house. We don't,
Yes,
don't let that
yes,
shit outside.
yes. And to address your trauma, you first have to take accountability.
Right.
I did a episode of my podcast a few weeks ago, and the title was checking your trauma at the door,
Okay.
because we all experience some type of trauma. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say it's bad trauma. I've experienced trauma. My friends have experienced trauma, but do we let that trauma handicap us going forward? You can check it at the door, or you could like meet people. I've met people being a counselor, and they'll say, well, this happened to me when I was 8. Well, I can't get this job, or I can't find anybody to love me because this happened when I was 10. Okay, I get that. That's a very valid reason, but you can't keep saying that to people, because people not gonna listen to you if you keep using it as a crutch. So for me, when I started going to school, because it was hard for me to take accountability, because I was 25 years old. I had 4 kids by 3 different men, and I was mad at the men. Like, it didn't take two to tango. I was
Why were you
mad.
why were you
I was
mad at
I was mad at them because how dare they make me a single mama and leave me?
Oh wow.
I was mad at them. But then when I started going to school, and I was like, well, you grown. They didn't put no gun in your head and tell you to have it, baby. They didn't say nothing about being serious. You just tried to create this family. So I had to swallow that pill. This me. So I had to say, okay, I did lay down. I was grown. I was grown. I could have told them to use protection. I could have protected myself and got on birth control. So I had to check my trauma at the door, and I didn't do that until I got in school to get my psychology degree. And I
Okay.
started reading all these different courses and stuff like that. So to double back, we have to be comfortable addressing the trauma before we ask those questions.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's right. It does take two to tangle, and like you said, that you tried to create a family, and you didn't have that conversation with them that you wanted to create a family, but the blessings are here now, so
Yeah.
it's we can do about it as well. So I guess one of the great, I guess great, good, whatever you want to call them, high value men died a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels died a couple weeks ago, and the internet went crazy. Men were saddened, women were happy. Like I don't get it. Like you can go, you can speak.
I didn't really watch his videos, so I didn't really feel away. I saw the internet in an uproar. I saw a few posts where men got his face tatted on their bodies. So I was just like, well, death is a part of life. I
Yeah.
just feel like the people that were in an uproar, they were taking what he said and just and ran with it, and then kind of dissected. I do know I read a few posts where he went in on women and men as well. Like I said,
Mhm.
I've never really watched his videos. I just go by what I see. So I really wasn't affected by it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So basically, like that. So I want to ask you this. So you have high value women, and you have high value men. Would you say some men are, because women really like want to add value to your life? Would
Mhm.
you say some men are afraid to, to be like have a woman add value to them, make them a better person because they just want to be complacent, stuck in their ways?
I want to say yeah, but I feel like I'm gonna have to tussle if I say that. For some men, that's a certain age, they want to be a player because they want to keep searching, like
Could be.
trying to find the next piece of ass. I feel like he's running from something. Then you
Mm,
have men that come across the woman that can absolutely add value to their lives, but they mess over her because they're scared of something. They're either scared of the commitment. I have not experienced that because I won't allow a person to get that close to me. If I sense any kind of assholeism, I told you I'm ghosting. So I'm not out here trying to waste time to add value. I know what I can bring to the table. And I'm not one of those women that say, well, I built the table and the chairs. I'm not that type of woman. So I know what I can add value. I can how your day going? I can communicate with you. I can check on you throughout the day. You need me to fix you something to eat or something like that. But I'm not doing that for everybody because that's wasting time. I'm not doing that for friends. I gotta make sure that you want the same thing. So yeah, I think men are scared to find women to add value because they're constantly running from something. Not all men. Not all men. I don't want to tussle.
So I feel like this is another thing you said that comes on every three show. What the hell is this table people keep talking about? This
I
imaginary table.
It's an imaginary table because women are so ingrained to be independent that, let me see, because I'm independent. but I still want a man there. Like if I build a table, why we can't build our table? Why we can't build a separate table? Or you know how you have those big dinette sets that you pull a little place out in their stand? Why we can't do that for each other? Why we can't? That's what I'm looking for. So I'm like I said, I'm not one of those women that'll say that I built the table and the chairs. But if you have a woman that's so ingrained in being independent, maybe she like a man is running from a woman to add value. Me women are doing the same thing because they're afraid to get hurt. They built this brick wall.
Mm,
So I think they constantly throw out that table as a defense mechanism.
okay. So they throw it out there as a defense mechanism.
That's what I feel like. I feel like that's, I mean, like I said, I'm not one of those women that says that. Like, I need you to help me with another table. So,
Mm. So I'm guessing, as we was talking about Mr. Samuel, him considering himself being high value, which he was divorced, and I see a lot of these other celebrities, a lot of them influencers that are divorced as well. So, um, and this is the struggle I had with a person I was talking to about it. It was like, okay, you hate Kevin Samuels, but you read Steve Harvey book. Doesn't make sense to me. Like he's basically telling you from his perspective of what he wants to do. You keep clicking on it, you like it, but then you don't like it, but you say what you say about him. But now you this whole think like a man, act like a lady, think like a man, whatever the hell that thing was called. You read this whole book from a man that was divorced 3 times.
well, Steve Harvey sugarcoated it, right?
I guess I don't know. I mean, a lot of stuff in that book I didn't agree with, but
I didn't read the book. I watched the movie, but I feel like if you comparing the two, if they didn't like Kevin Samuels, they didn't like it because he put it in their face, and a lot like if, when you want to address your trauma or you want to look at yourself, a lot of people are afraid to take accountability. So if Kevin put it in your face and wanted to make you take accountability, then that's why they're mad. I don't think in Steve Harvey's book, now in the movie, I didn't read the book, but in the movie, I didn't see where he was telling women to take accountability. It was just like, okay, 90 days, you gotta make him chase you and blah blah blah. It's been a minute since I watched the movie, but it's kind of what stuck out to me was the 90-day rule. That's what stuck out to me. I felt like he sugarcoated a lot.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was Megan Good's perspective for the 90 days with I forgot his name, the bald head dude, the comedian guy. That was her phase with him. 90 days. We're gonna date for 90 days, and then I'll decide to do this. Um, if I'm not gonna do it, but I don't see the difference between day one and 90 day. The 90th day. What's the difference?
I don't know. I guess that's when they're finding time to find out the substance, but a person is going to show you who they are within the first few weeks. It don't even take 90 days to see if you want to go forward with a person, not in my opinion.
Right. So, think, but I saw a comment pop up. Sometimes it's not always about the parent not being in the home. That person may have been molested or abused by someone outside the home. Hey, outside the home or in the home, either or. Those traumas do happen, as far as that. Uh children get molested, they go tell a parent, then the parents get mad at the children
Right.
instead of
Right.
saying what they say to the parent or whatever. Those things do happen, and that is like a trauma, like what you said when you got pregnant at 13, you didn't want men to touch you anymore.
Right.
That was one of your triggers. Like, nah, this happened my very, like you said, you got pregnant on your very first time. You probably psychologically thinking, damn, every time I decide to do this could possibly happen, which is true,
Yeah.
but it didn't. I mean, it didn't. So that was part of your trauma with it.
Yeah. And to address that comment, I was molested by somebody in the home. My my mom's husband molested
Mm,
me, and I'm learning now, but for the long, I did tell somebody. I ended up telling an older cousin, and I didn't even come out and tell her. I was scared because he did they sexual predators have this thing where they can scare the hell out of kids. I'm 8 years old, and he's like, "I'll kill your whole family." At 8 years
Mm.
old, I believe it. I wholeheartedly believe that he would kill my whole family if I said anything. This is why I can't take money from men, because every time that happened, I got money. I got a brand new Barbie. I got clothes. I got candy. So I can't. That's why I don't look for men for money. That's why I don't want a man to give me money. I don't want a man to do anything for me, because that triggers me. Because if he give me money, he gonna want something in return. And I want it to be my choice. If I give you myself, it's gonna be my choice. You're not doing nothing for me. So I felt like at 8 years old, he took that choice away from me. And I flocked to my kids' fathers because they were thugs. They were supposedly gangsters. And I felt like they were gonna protect me from the big bad wolf. And in my mind, the big bad wolf was my stepfather. So I took that as, when I tell them what happened to me, they gonna protect me. They gonna
Right.
protect me from him. So I was still carrying that trauma. And still being 39, I still have a little stain of trauma because men scare me. Like, if I go somewhere with you and I know you, do not leave me alone in a room full of men that I don't know. I'm not gonna act weird, but it's gonna increase my anxiety because I don't know what this man is thinking. I've always been I used to cover my body. I used to be a huge tomboy. I used to shop in the men's section because I didn't want my curves to show. I don't want you looking at me like that. I don't want you, this is just something that I took with me, and I'm getting out of it now. I used to sleep fully clothed, socks, shoes, broad panties, a big t-shirt, sweatpants, because when I did that as a child, the longer it took him to get those clothes off, he would just give up.
Okay.
So I had to incorporate ways to get him off of me. And I did tell my cousin, told my mom, but it was the day before they were supposed to get married. And I saw my mom in the hospital crying, and it broke her heart. And then I took it back because I didn't like to see my mama crying.
Mm.
So and then he threatened me again. He threatened me again. And I didn't, I told my dad when I was like 35 years old. That's when I actually had a conversation with my dad, and I told him what happened. So I'm taking it. I'm working on it. I'm okay now. I'm not, like I said. The only thing I feel that is weird now is me being in a room with men. I'm not comfortable around men right now. I mean, I'm comfortable enough to get to know you, to have a conversation with you, but you'll have to break the ice. You'll have to break the ice for me. So then they created the thing where sex wasn't enjoyable for me. It was just a chore. It was just something to do to shut them up, or okay, all he wanted sex. So if I give him sex, he'll leave me alone. And I was grown until a man told me that I was supposed to enjoy it as well.
Oh
So
wow.
I'll let trauma follow me. And that's why I didn't, it wasn't my fault. I had to come to the realization that it wasn't my fault that I was 8 years old. So I worked through that. I'm working through that. I have forgiven him. Haven't forgotten, but I have
Right.
forgiven him. I've never seen him again since he left my mama when I
Mm.
was about 9 years old. He ended up leaving her, and I haven't seen him again. Now he ended up calling the house again when I was 16. He called the house trying to reconnect with my mama, and I freaking lost it. I lost it because it brought up all this stuff that I tried to push down, that I tried to hide. So it made me very hyper vigilant of my girls, of my son. And so all of that trauma comes back. I think that's like one of the number one traumas that we face as children going into adulthood. And it causes you to act a way, to either be hypersexual. And I talked about it on one of my episodes of my podcast because I really had to just get down and dirty with myself. And I wanted to put myself out there, to let people know that I'm human and I'm still working through things.
Okay. So when you put yourself out there, what were some of the things that you said when you put yourself out there?
I talked about being molested at 8. I talked about being afraid of men. I talked about looking at sex as a chore because don't nobody like chores. I talked about flocking to a certain type of man, a certain type of man, which is the thug, the gangsters in my early 20s, because I felt like they was gonna protect me from the proverbial big bad wolf. I talked about that. I talked about all of it because I spend the whole 45, 50 minutes talking about myself. And I just wanted to be relatable because I know I'm not the only one that's out there that's doing it.
Mhm.
And I wanted to let people know that it's comfortable to be okay with your trauma. It's comfortable going forward, you know, with whatever you feel.
Right. Oh wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, somebody that you reached out there probably going through the same thing that you're going through. So when you sit up here, when we sit on these platforms and we talk, I feel like, somebody's listening that's like, yo, I've been through that. So maybe it's helping me um out. I can't remember the show, but I had people actually, DM me was like I couldn't watch tonight because it triggered some stuff back. Matter of fact, it was my abuse. It was my domestic violence show. It was a domestic violence show that happened. A lot of people said they couldn't watch because of the domestic violence that had happened to them. So, but I understand. I don't want nobody having no anxiety attack or no, panic attacks. So, because they see things. But I do want you to talk about the help, get yourself some help to talk about it, especially if you're trying to move on, to the ultimate goal to be married or be with somebody. You got
Right.
to get those things out. You can't be with a person for 16 years and then be like, oh, I need something to tell you. No, you should have told me this like in
Yeah.
like the first month or the second month and let me see how I can handle this because everybody can't handle everything.
Right.
So that's just how that go with it. But okay, so I guess I gotta reverse it now. When I said the men who have money, now you have these women with money, and as far as that, they might be dating a guy that make less money than them. Do they try to hold the man the same way as the man holds the woman, or is it different?
What you mean, like hold it against them
Yeah, hold it
or
against them,
throwing it in their face?
throwing it in their face. Yeah.
I feel like if they get mad, they will. But if you genuinely care about a person, I don't think that she would. Like I've never experienced it, so I can't really speak on it. But I feel like it'll if you it's like I did this for you, so you sorry, no good, blah 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 blah. Yeah, when they get mad, she'll throw it up in his face because some women can be petty, and
No.
that'll hurt his pride. That'll hurt you. Gotta. That's how you hurt a man with his pride,
Right.
taking his income. That'll hurt his pride. So you gotta gut punch him, and that I feel like she'll do that to gut punch him.
Could be. Could be. I mean, that gut punch him, yeah, because that's the first thing you got to do is going to hurt the man's pride, and our egos and pride are very fragile, so it goes to another realm, and you got to like, I guess, check yourself and figure out what you want to do in the situation. So, but I don't know. That's
I
hard
don't know. Like
to
I've
say.
never experienced it, so I feel like that's how it would go in my mind. That's how it would go. I never did anything. I'm kind of selfish, so like I said, if we friends, I'm not doing too much for you. I'm not. Don't ask me for money because if you ask me for money, then I feel like I'm a trick.
You feel like you a trick because you helped your friend out. You gave your friend money.
I will. Yeah. I feel like a trick. I feel like you trying to make me a sugar mama. And if I'm not getting anything in return, oh, you about to get ghosted. Mm-mm.
Oh, so you like I give you this money, you gotta give me this in
No, no,
return.
no, no. Oh, please. I don't want to tussle. I don't want to tussle. No, it's just like, okay, you meet a dude. I met a dude a few months ago, and we were just communicating, and then I texted him and I said, well, how your day going? He talking about I'm hungry. What you about to cook? And he's like, well, I forgot food, so I'm being nice. So I sent him like $20, and he's talking about, wow, what I'm supposed to eat with that? What you
Oh,
mean? So then he did it again. He did it again a few weeks later. So I sent him like $15. And he was like, I can tell you ain't, it's been a minute since you had a man. You know what? You trying to be a trick. You trying to make me a trick. And I'm not comfortable giving you money. You said you was hungry, so let me help you out. But anyway, yeah, I cut that off. No, I'm not. No.
so because you gave him $35 total, you not used to having a man. That's just
Yeah,
ungrateful at its
that's what he
finest right there.
said.
I gave you twenty
That's
dollars. I know what I
I
know what I can
mean,
eat for $20. I know what I can eat for 15.
right. And I thought maybe he was gonna go to the grocery store or something. Like, what restaurant you trying to go to? And then the fact that when he said that, I'm like, oh no, because I had never asked him for anything. Because I mentioned I'm not asking a man for money, so I didn't ask him for anything. So then he was like, when I brought it to him, because now I'm like, well, I don't feel comfortable giving you money like that. Like, we're not even in a relationship. I'm not giving you money. He's like, well, I don't want you for your money, but you just asked me for money.
Yeah,
So
these trash dudes just keep winning. Somebody just said that. I'm sitting back like, cause I'm sitting back thinking like, you give me $20. If I got $1, I mean, with today's price, I can go get me at least a pack of chicken, for 19.99, or I could go
right.
to McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or Burger King, whatever fast food restaurant. $20 is feasible for me to eat. I can at least get almost 2 meals out of it, enough where I can say I can save some of this for later. Even 15. That's just crazy. When you gonna tell a lady, she tell you that you must don't date dudes because you only gave him $35
Yeah,
total.
that's what he said, that I could tell it's been a minute. I could tell it's been a while since you had a man.
Wow.
Yep. So yeah, this ain't. No, I don't want to deal with this. So no, I'm not going to give you my money. No, I'm not going to do that.
If you getting upset about $35, this is where we have to stamp you as with the Dirty Girls Social Club, who was the last episode of season 2 said, he's a sassy nigga. That's the word we have to use. We call them sassy now. So yeah, that's crazy right there. So have you spoke to him after that?
After that, yeah, because he it's a whole story, and I don't feel like I'm just tell my business on this show tonight. So I call myself, I'm gonna be celibate. I'm gonna work on myself because I had suffered 2 deaths. I lost my brother and I lost my dad. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the energy to put into a relationship. So let me just pull back and let me just focus on myself. So I'm gonna be celibate. I ain't gonna put nothing out there. This man inboxed me and chased me in my inbox for months.
Mm.
And for months, I wouldn't say I ignored him. I was like, we would conversate for months. And I told him I was celibate and I wasn't looking for anything. Why are you still inboxing me? So now I'm thinking, okay, this is a sign. He might want a relationship. He might want to get to know me. So I go and I break my celibacy because I don't regret it now, but I wasn't mad about it because I'm grown and I go spend time. Now, before I did that, every day we talked on the phone. Every day we text each other all day. And the minute I come back home, you start ghosting me. Oh, I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm very much grown and adult. And I know when I'm being ghosted because I'm the ghoster. So I asked him one day, I said, I feel you acted different. And he was like, well, I don't want nothing but a friend right now. Well, I don't want no friend. I'm 39. I don't want no friend. And I wouldn't have put all the energy into a friendship. And I ain't even go off. I ain't go angry black woman. I said it just like that. I said, well, I wish you could have said that up front because I think this is a mistake that most men make. They don't want to be honest with some women. You could have just told me all you wanted was sex.
Mm.
You could have just said, all I want is sex and that's it. And maybe that's all I want. So we could just have sex and then we don't even have to talk until we have sex again. You don't have to put that out there that you want to get to know me because you don't want to get to know me. You don't want to know. Don't ask me how my day going. Don't ask me if we're going on a date because now right now we just sex buddies. So all that extra, you can kill that. So I felt like you shouldn't have did all of that. You shouldn't have chased me in my inbox for 6 months because I'm pretty sure you can have any woman you want. And I'm not saying nothing is wrong with a sex relationship, like they come and just said, but we have to be grown and say that in the beginning. All I
Right.
want is when I say I ask a man, what are you looking for? This is not me saying I want to get married. This is me saying, okay, if you just want sex, let me know. If you just want a friend, let me know. Then let me determine. Don't take away my choice You taking away my choice when you say, "Oh, I really want to get to know you. I want to chill with you. I want to see where this goes." No, you want to see if it go to the bedroom. And if a woman can't take that, that's a red flag. If a woman can't take that a man just wants sex, why would he still pursue her? Because she let you know she finna get her fatal attraction on.
Oh man, that's crazy right there. So he got the panty drawers and he just tried to ghost you. That's crazy. But
He
he
tried. He tried it. He tried it. And after I said that I wouldn't have put all that energy into it as a friend, I said it to myself because I kept asking myself, well, what did he want? And then it dawned on me when I sent the message to him. I'm like, that's what he wanted. And so I deleted the number and I deleted him as a friend on Facebook. And I haven't talked to him again
mm,
because we don't have nothing to talk about.
which is true, you don't. But on that note, oh man, it's 8:54. So you know what it's time for? It's time for I Be Damned. And the funny thing is, she's talking about online dating, and that's I didn't even know you were talking about online dating, and that's what the shit is about tonight. Online dating, I Be Damned, the animated version. You can run it.
I used to be a bookworm back in college, and I didn't go out that much. That's why a friend of mine signed me up to a dating website, even though I never liked the idea because you never know who you're gonna meet.
Oh, it's ahead of it, so let's go back. It's ahead of it too fast.
I used to be a bookworm back in college, and I didn't go out that much. That's why a friend of mine signed me up to a dating website, even though I never liked the idea because you never know who you're gonna meet. When I signed in, I received dozens of messages in just a few minutes, but all the guys who'd shown interest in me were either too old or too creepy. However, there was one guy that caught my eye, so I replied to his messages. We talked for the next few weeks, and then he asked me out. He sounded interesting, and I agreed to meet him in a bar downtown. He seemed like a nice guy, but he was trying too hard to sound funny, and he never stopped talking. Anyway, I just wasn't into him, and 10 minutes later, I was already thinking of ways to leave early. The bartender noticed me, and he could tell I was bored. While my date was in the restroom, the bartender approached me and asked me if I was okay. I told him that I was on my first date, and I wasn't having much fun. He asked me if I wanted to leave with him, since his shift was almost over, so he could free me from this awkward date. I was tempted to say yes, but my date returned from the restroom. I gave a subtle headshake no to the guy, and I smiled. When my date sat back down at the table, he was noticeably agitated, and he started talking even faster. I was pretty sure that he took something while he was in the restroom. He then grabbed my arm and pulled me and tried to kiss me. I pushed him away. I grabbed my handbag and I stood up. The bartender quickly took my hand and pulled me away. I followed him behind the bar and we fled out the back door. We left and he said he was my savior and told me that I owed him one. But when he pointed to his car, my mood changed. And I told him that I didn't even know his name. He smiled, said his name was John, and told me that if I didn't go with him, he would immediately call back the guy from the bar. I smiled and I followed him to his car. When we got there, we found two guys leaning on his car, and John started shouting at them to move away. One of the guys started approaching us, telling John to calm down, but he charged at them and started throwing punches out of nowhere. What the hell, I thought. What a shitty night. From bad to worse. I walked away while John was waving his arms, shouting at me to get back to him. I got out from another exit and I called a taxi that brought me home. The next day, as I was watching the evening news, I saw a story of a poor girl who had been beaten and killed in a parking lot behind the bar. The very bar that I was at the night before. They showed the picture of the perpetrator. And it was John, the bartender.
So basically, what some story up that fast was she met a guy online. She didn't like him, so she tried to leave with the bartender. The bartender took out in the back. The bartender started fighting people. Bartender killed some random girl at the end of the night. Like, it's crazy.
That's very heavy. Every time when I do meet a guy and I'm on the first day, I'm getting like color of the car, what he wearing, what I'm wearing, where I'm going, address, license plate. I'm texting. I'm in a group texting all my homegirls, everything. So yeah, last known what last when I'm seeing. I watch too much true crime, so it's crazy. It's very crazy. I'm glad I haven't experienced any horror stories like that though.
So I want to ask you this. So how would you not that part, not the end part, but like when you got there and you wasn't feeling the vibe with dude, would you just been like, yo, I'm just leaving. I'm not feeling you. Let's get out of here.
I would have been polite like she was because men are crazy, and if I got hit in the eye for trying to break up with a guy, I could just imagine what happened on the date. So I would have been, I would have been real polite, or I would have texted somebody, went to the bathroom and text somebody to, come and get me or come up with an emergency or something. I would have played it cool to not, alert him when he was already crazy, or when he went to the bathroom, I would have left.
Well, seems reasonable. Seems reasonable to me, but yeah, that's our time for the night. Season 3, episode 1. I can't mess that up because the first episode, I normally go blank around about episode 12, 13. So here we go. We got Miss T. Sherran Young again for Transparent T YouTube channel, Transparent T Facebook page, and Transparent T podcast, which is it on
Spotify? It's on Facebook. It's not on Spotify. He's working on Spotify, but right now it's on it's on Facebook right now, but it's other platforms. And every time he tell me, I forget. So that's why I tell people to like and follow Social Goats, because it's every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. I go live.
In the morning?
In the morning. Yeah, because I'm the only one in the morning slot.
Oh, so
because I did my research when I first started the podcast, and it's the best days or the beginning of the week in the morning because people are doing their morning commute.
Maybe I need to talk to brother for real and Ava. Let's go Amsterdam in the morning then. I got shit to do on the morning commute. I have to compete with other people, but in the morning. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do one morning show, and I'm probably not gonna say anything because I'm not a morning person. So we're just gonna be sitting here looking at each other like I'm not a morning person. So that's not gonna happen. I don't even know who I have next week. I don't know. I forgot who I have don't have next week. I think it's Dating After Divorce, I believe. I think Dating After Divorce is next week. Dating After Divorce, then we're going to take a week break, and then the last week of June we're doing why dating plus size women or something. I can't remember the title, but I know plus size women at the end of the month. Dating with Divorce, I definitely believe is next week. But thank you for coming through, Ms. Young.
Thank you for having me.
With us, with your high value, everything that's been through. I'm glad you're successful. Plus size women is next week. Oh, plus size women is next week. I got my own days confused. You know, I get this stuff confused. Size women.
I definitely want to tune in for that one because I want to see what the people gonna say. You got a guess, or it's just gonna be you talking?
Not me. I got a bunch of them. I think it's like 4 or 5 of them coming.
Oh, I definitely want to tune in for that. I got the notification tab on YouTube set up and everything. So yeah, yeah.
4 or 5 plus size women from Florida. And they want to talk about their dating experience as a plus size woman. So that's all I got for this week, y'all. Thank y'all, Ms. Young, for coming through. I'm gonna see y'all next week. Same time, same channel. HBCU Network, Lounge Network, 8 p.m. Amsterdam Talk, and another episode of I Be Damned. And I believe it's about the man got caught cheating. He was having sex with his teacher. He was cheating on his girlfriend with the teacher, and she beat up the teacher and him. Some more crazy shit. I'll see y'all next week. Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye.